Okay, welcome back to Coffee with Mr. Spock. Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Martin. We're back for Mr. Robot Season 2, Episode 2, although this is technically Episode 3, but the way I'm doing it, the first one was the two episodes mushed together as a feature length. Apparently, there was an intermission, it was a whole thing, but this is Episode 3, but we're marking it as Episode 2. We all good? We all caught up on that? So last time we joined Elliot in his endeavors to normalize his life a little bit, to get a routine going, so the Mr. Robot personality can't break through, but we left on a cliffhanger of maybe he's slipping back in, taking control of the driver's seat, and there's gonna be some chaos unraveling. We also got a bunch of new characters introduced. We had Ray, we had a lollipop lady who was buying things from his shop. We had Leon. There's a bunch of new people in the show, so we'll see how important they all turn out to be. And Angela seems knee-deep in her work at Evil Corp. She says she likes it, but she seems like she's having to reinforce her like of it constantly, so that feels like just like a bowl of popcorn that's popping too much and it's gonna explode. This metaphor is awful, but I think you know what I mean. And of course, Tyrell. The Tyrell of it all. Where is he? Are we gonna see him here? Who knows? But there's a mystery that still needs a solving. But before we jump into this episode, please remember to hit the thumbs up if you do enjoy the reaction and the review of the episode that happens afterwards. Also consider subscribing. That is the best way to let me know you like this stuff and that you want to see more stuff. And there are links in the description for all my other things: Twitch, Discord, TikTok. If you're interested in any other types of things I make, those are the places, and they are down below. But yeah, let's jump into this. Let's see what may or may not have happened during the missing time Elliot has missed that we left on. And where's Tyrell, goddammit?
Right, man.
Santa! It's Christmas time.
Husband and wife team, the Bedfords, open up a freak show / dwarf sanctuary on this land you're about to be at. And 1 year, rumor has it, the husband wakes up one Christmas morning, grabs a large kitchen knife, slices his wife's throat open, stabs his little kids to death, then slits his own wrist. No motive was ever determined.
God.
It's a happy place, huh?
Mary Megan even installed a little bar so she could get drunk with her friends and shoot pool at night. Until one time in '86, she got so liquored up, she accidentally fell off the bar stool and landed hard on the pool cue she was holding. Oh. Went right through her neck, clean. Killed her.
God damn. I think this place might be cursed. It might just be cursed.
When Ned Beauchamp brought up the joint under the name Fun Society Amusement LLC.
Fun Society?
So the oldest son, Harold, being simple-minded, needing money for whatever simple-minded folks need money for, decided Dad had to go. So Harold stole his twin brother's hunting rifle and shot Dad in the face. Now, what
cursed. Cursed, goddammit.
It kicked back so hard he tripped and fell out of his dad's 20-story window. By the time
What
he hit the ground, his head opened up like one of those Gallagher water. All this commotion stirred awake his twin brother Clyde, who, as he told it to me, was in his bedroom catching some Z's when all this went down. By the time he got his bearings, he was immediately arrested for the double homicide of his brother and father. He was my cellmate. This place made him crazy. He thinks it's cursed.
I mean, I can see why. I can see why. Jesus.
I'm not here to rent from me, Romero. I want you to work with us, but he's gonna love this place. He's got a thing for Coney Island.
Is he a fan of the Warriors? Is that why?
Money's gonna be the deciding factor in all this.
In a way, this pays everything.
Cool. We get an origin for Romero, I think his name is, and the arcade. It's cursed.
Where are you?
Not yet where I'm supposed to be, but soon, very soon.
What the fuck is happening?
I think about you a lot, Elliot. I think about that night when we became gods.
That night.
Back on that God complex, he's still living it.
We had a deal. You wanted to talk to him? I delivered. It's not my fault he's Looney Tunes.
Did we really talk to
he is
the
a
most
bit.
wanted man on the planet?
Why the fuck are you asking them? You heard him. You talked to him.
I talked to you.
I love that. I love that. He can hear the narration.
Gideon Goddard, owner and CEO of Allsafe Cybersecurity, considered ground zero for the 5/9 attack, was shot dead at a bar in Manhattan.
Okay, he actually died. Gideon died. I was kind of like, did he die? But okay. Confirmation. I'm always skeptical of these things. What the fuck? No. Well, okay. We're kicking this off like this, huh? Jesus. I thought he was going to, like, be in this episode, but it looked like an assassination, right? That's what that looks like. Assassin. In the notes it goes.
I swear the only way I'm getting through this is having breakfast with you. Mets won again. This could be that year.
Interesting. Interesting. Ray's got some stuff going on, huh?
So we're back to the morphine.
It's not morphine. It's Adderall.
Ah, okay.
Now it's time to get rid of you.
I don't think this is gonna work, Elliot. Like, the morphine last time just exacerbated the situation. I feel like this was just gonna do the same thing. Jesus! He's necking these fucking things.
But ODing on Adderall was finally my way of controlling him.
This is gonna be a trippy episode, isn't it? It's gonna be full-on Trip Out City. Is any of this real? Is any of this real?
Elliot and I both warned you as a liability. He sold drugs.
God damn.
Darlene just assuming it was like a drug hit? I feel like there's going to be more to it, right?
What's that for?
We concreting Elliot? What's happening? Oh god, no, it's worse. It's worse than I thought. It's worse. Ah, no. Why though? Oh, come on. Come on now.
That's it. Get those shitty pills out of your system. You will cooperate, my son. I will make you because I own you.
Oh, don't you dare. Do not do it. Do not do it. Oh my god. Now we're going to be cutting between things. I don't know what's real, what is real. What's Mr. Robot doing inside his brain to make him do things? Oh, I'm exhausted.
First, I want to offer my condolences. Terrible news about your old boss.
Thank you, sir. I've been pretty broken up about it.
Second.
You don't sound very broken up, Angela. Seem to be repressing those emotions. You are becoming a Cyberman, is what's happening.
Frankly, Fox isn't where we should be right now. Bloomberg is where investors get their business news. And if our goal is to reassure them...
Sit down. Have you ever had dinner at Fidelio's? I know the chef. He's very good.
Where are we going with this? Where are we going? What is this conversation?
Okay.
We going on a date now? Is that what's happening?
I'll arrange a car to pick you up. And, yes, you're right. Bloomberg. It's more appropriate.
Okay. He listened.
Thank you, sir.
Angela, what is going on? Angela is just so, like, vacant. Like, she seems constantly bamboozled and yet expressionless at the same time.
Alexa, what time is it?
It is 4:03 a.m.
All right. FBI lollipop lady has insomnia. We haven't really had a character on the side of, like, the law in the story, so I'm interested to see how that works out. Oh, she's here. She's going to investigate
Didn't get much from her.
Rome's death.
We're still looking, but it looks like he only printed out these 3 sheets from the full FBI roster. We contacted everyone here at the New York office. You're the first to respond. It's forensics. We found his desktop unlocked.
Did you have them check if the ports are modified at all before using them?
I was going to say, that seems a little too obvious.
Well, that's 2 murders in a row associated with this hack.
They caught the guy. It was just some whack job.
We might be getting executed by the Dark Army, and this is what you'd rather be discussing?
I was going to say, where is the Dark Army in all this? Haven't heard from them.
You're not the only person they've talked to. State Elliott's and we don't know.
Don't say what you're thinking.
Look,
Stay with my buddy in Arizona.
I don't think Elliot would do this. Mr. Robot, on the other hand,
Besides, if you're just gonna end up
jury's out on that.
isn't that much.
I don't trust her or her crazy ass brother. I'm saying we just committed the crime of the century. And they're trying to cover their tracks, and right now, we're the tracks.
Understandably concerned. Basically. I don't think he's got it all in the right order, but...
I'm very sorry this happened to you. The guys I deal with, they can be ruthless. Me, I'm more of a positive reinforcement kind of guy.
Fuck is going on here? Fucking Ray out here about to murder someone, I think.
I still need you to fix this thing for me. Good news is, once you bring it back up, you will get your money and, in time, God willing, your health.
You have to find someone who can migrate the site to another, more secure location and set up a system of hot and cold wallets.
Just because you beat a man's face to a pulp don't mean he gonna know what he don't. We're not animals. We need to find someone who can do that migration thing you keep talking about.
Would that person be Elliot by chance? I knew people last episode were like scared of Ray for some reason.
Can I tell you a secret?
Now we know why.
It's been 3 days.
Oh my god. Elliot, please. Did we learn nothing? Did we learn nothing from last time?
And I'm feeling 100%.
Oh my god. Fucking trippiness continues.
He's gone. He's gone. He's gone. The Adderall is working, and fuck if this drug doesn't feel good.
Oh, Elliot.
Even the dumb basketball game is enthralling. The ball goes into a hoop. Of course.
Oh no. Why is this simultaneously hilarious and anxiety building?
And now it's just us. You're not buying any of this either, are you?
No. No. No.
I know. Leon's talking backwards. This isn't good.
Jesus. Oh my god. How to make The Shining more terrifying. Jeez. Like, he's gonna blue screen. Elliot's blue screening.
My internal fatal error. From which my system cannot
It's like the fucking Max spinning wheel.
You are beautiful.
I feel like so bad for Angela. She was in such a good place, wanting to change the world, all these wonderful things, and now this. What an image that is. I mean, come on.
Angela. Yes, come, please.
It's not a date. It's a foursome.
May new relationships lead to new opportunities.
I hate this. This is making me cringe internally. I don't know what's about to happen, but...
Alexa, when is the end of the world?
Unless it collides with a very large rock or a future technology goes very wrong indeed, Earth is most likely to be destroyed when the sun swells into a red giant in several billion years' time.
Mood. What a mood. There was a name on this list that caught her attention, though. I don't know if there's a name I'm supposed to recognize, and I'm just not remembering it.
Why didn't God help my innocent friend who died for no reason? Forget the one-offs. How about the countless wars declared in his name?
Is Elliot about to break all of these people's faith?
And I'm not just talking about Jesus. I'm talking about all organized religion. His followers, nothing but addicts who want their hit of bullshit to keep their dopamine of ignorance. Addicts.
Fucking popping off, boys. He's popping off.
People think their worship some key to happiness. That's just how he owns you.
What a wonderful kind of contradiction in terms of how Elliot is trying to stand up to people being controlled by higher powers, be it God, be it corporations, but he's trapped in his brain with this person who is trying to control him, who is him. Fucks with your head, man. Oh, there goes the journal.
Pleasure meeting you, Angela. Now remember, come see us anytime. We'll have lunch. On you.
Well, that just sounded creepy. Creepy, creepy, creepy.
Absolutely, it was delicious.
Oh my god, she's actually smiling.
Jim's been with us for 27 years. He's the reason we do our Toys for Tots. And Saul is the chair of our non-profit arm. They were both in the room with Colby when they made that grave error, covering up the leak in your hometown.
Well, that made a turn in this conversation, huh?
There's enough evidence in there to put them away for years.
Is this a test?
Whatever you're doing, I don't trust it.
It's a big decision you're making because these men, their lives will be destroyed.
Do you have to be so close, dude?
You'll do just fine.
Ick. Ick. Oh, did he find the journal?
My wife passed away.
Okay. I figured that was the case from the earlier scene. And he's just trying to play out conversations with her, like how he think it would go.
You and me are a lot more alike than you think, Elliot.
We're not so different, you and I. Alright, it's how he's going to appeal to him, I guess.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Romero. I'm Dominique DePiro with the FBI. I know it's early, but I just had a few more questions about your
Hold on. Hold on.
Talk to the police.
Hold on. Wasn't that... Her name was on the list. So that was her name. Okay.
I see you moving out.
Yeah.
I do have a question. If she didn't leave the house, did she not hear, like, the gunshot that presumably went off? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking that.
Probably ran off like everyone else.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Did you say his name? Have you seen him before?
This be a paper trail. Oh, dear. That's awkward. Presumably that has the arcade's address on it, right? I'm in two minds because I like her, but I don't want her to find them.
Control is about as real as a one-legged unicorn taking a leak at the end of a double rainbow. The whole thing is a fall, a perpetual state of grasping in the dark. It's about stumbling in the right direction. I can tell the person you're writing about meant something to you.
I don't want to talk about this.
Yes, you do. Keeping this inside isn't going to last. I've been looking for a good adversary. You want to play?
I mean, it's all an aid of him getting to use him for his own means, but he's not wrong either.
Maybe we're all just stumbling from the right questions to the wrong answers.
It does feel like that sometimes, doesn't it?
Where you go or where you come.
You gotta be fucking kidding me.
It's literally on the building. It's literally on the building, and no one was like, huh. Amazing. Amazing. Okay, another episode down, once again. a barrage of new information and continued information. I will just say before we talk about what happened in the episode, I appreciate, I mean, here's the thing, I'll admit this, but I appreciate that the show really does not, from my opinion anyway, talk down to its audience. It really just expects you to follow along, or at least if you don't necessarily pick up on everything, it will be like, hey, if you're liking this, you'll come on the journey and it will make sense as you go, kind of thing. But I just appreciate that it never feels like it's spoon feeding anything to me, except it is giving me all the information, even though it may not necessarily always compute immediately for me. I do appreciate that it's not treating me like a dummy in a nutshell. But yeah, a lot going on. We got some revelations, we got some more questions, and yeah, just interesting things are afoot. First things first, confirmed deaths. Gideon confirmed dead. That's happened. Romero dead. I'm kind of sad about that because I liked him in the first season, so I don't know if there was a situation where the actor was busy or whatever it was. It was nice to get a scene with him at the start and sort of give a bit of a origin context scene to how he ended up with F Society and where the arcade came from. That was fun and cool. I really like that. But yeah, I'm sad that he's dead because yeah, I liked him in the first season. He provided a good foil for everyone, I felt, first season. So yeah, kind of sucks that he's not there, but it does lend some intrigue to what's going on, because I don't think it's as simple like Darlene was trying to write it off as he dealt drugs, like someone got mad at him, he's dead. Okay, it's nothing important. It definitely feels like there's more afoot, especially since Gideon also was killed, assassinated. So there's like something happening, and it might have something to do with the Dark Army, it might have something to do with Tyrell. No idea at this stage. It could even be the Mr. Robot persona somehow. Like there's many options, and the arcade is cursed. Everyone who's owned it, been in it, something awful has happened to them, and it's just cursed. It's just cursed. I don't make the rules. That's what it is. I guess that does play into the theme of the episode, though, about the whole what is life. That's what this episode felt like to me. It's like, what is life? Are we actually in control of anything, or are we just stumbling through and just trying to fight for the next thing to get to the next thing that's a mistake or a problem, and we have to get through that? And or can we actually control things in our lives, and the people that we care about, can we actually help them, or is it just a mass chaos that is life? That seemed to be the ultimate theme of the episode, and what Elliot was trying to figure out for himself. Like, can I control Mr. Robot? Can I eradicate him? What do I do? What is the right step? And I feel like that's going to be a continuing idea throughout this season. I did love, though, I loved the scene where Elliot is talking to us, doing the imaginary friend, and like Mr. Robot responds to it. Like he can hear the narration because he is his head. I really loved it. It was so like not like highlighted. It was just like a natural reaction. So good. I loved that moment. We learned a little bit more about Ray and how he's going to appeal to Elliot to help him with the task he's got, something to do with Bitcoin. Didn't really follow the technical issues of it, but he's got a shady business going on. He's roughing people up with his enforcers, and I thought this last episode that he clearly is someone that people in the area fear, and he's got some shit going on, and he needs Elliot for whatever that is. But we learned that his wife died after last time he was like, hey, I talk to my wife every morning, but he's now using this connection with Elliot to try and get him on board, say, hey, you and me are the same. But I feel like this is probably going to go down a road where what Ray's doing is not going to be agreeable with Elliot, because he's just going to see him as another person ruling other people. And there's one thing we've learned about Elliot: he doesn't like other people taking control of people who are less able to look after themselves, or anything along those lines. Elliot's a bit of a Robin Hood in that way, and that seems to be kind of his moral compass. Despite everything that is going on, that is sort of the overriding thing in his brain, that he wants to change the world, he wants to help people. And I feel like this whole situation with Ray although they seem to be appealing to one another right now, is probably not going to end well. Love seeing that actor more. He's great. He's really, in this episode in particular, I felt it last time, but in this episode it's really coming across. He's got that quiet, menacing thing going on. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't need to come out as like the scary antagonist or whatever. He's got like, he feels like he's in control of the scenes that he's in, and like, you know, if he wanted to, he could ruin someone's life. You know what I mean? Like, that really comes across, but at the same time you kind of get suckered in as the audience because he's just charismatic and you kind of like being around him. It's good. It's really a really good performance and well sort of done filmmaking wise. We got very trippy again. We've swapped out morphine for Adderall, I think he said, and you know, rather than dulling everything, he just went super haywire in the brain and super active to the point where he couldn't sleep. I thought this was going to result in a stay in the hospital or something when it started. He's like, I'm just going to OD on this. That's my plan. But no, he just got into a situation where he couldn't sleep. An interesting parallel with our FBI character, Dominique, which I think that's her name. She said Dominique in this episode, and that was the name in the list, but we'll get to her in a minute. I just now suddenly thought, that's an interesting correlation between Elliot going through these days of not being able to sleep, but then establishing that she has some form of insomnia as well. So yeah, just there, just on the brain. The whole drinking concrete cement has me worried because it makes me feel like the show is setting up, we're going to have sequences where Elliot, it feels like it's actually happening, like it's real, it's there, but it's actually Mr. Robot manipulating Elliot's perception of what's actually happening. So I expect we're probably going to get more of that, and it's going to be bamboozling. Really, like, it's visually very appealing. I love all the visual cues that they give to sort of show what's real, what's not real, or the reveal of something that is real that was imagined in a different context for Elliot. Like, I love all of that stuff, but I know it's going to melt my brain a little bit as we go through, which I guess is the point. It's putting you in Elliot's sort of bamboozled mind state as he's trying to figure everything out and trying to make you feel like, how do you control this when you literally cannot tell what's actually happening anymore? Like, it's really good stuff, but I think they're probably going to go nuts with it. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think they're going to probably do a lot with that. Lollipop FBI, I think her name is Dominique. She said her name was Dominique, and she's investigating at current Rome's death, looking into the information that they found from his computer. She saw her name, I think, on the list, I'm fairly sure. So she's interested why her name may have come up, I guess. I like her. She, you know, like all of our characters, seems to be getting fleshed out in a way that she isn't just law enforcement or this character. She's got all this other baggage that is going to be coming along with it. And yeah, I'm invested. I don't know how she's going to fit into the bigger story as of right now, but I like the character as we're seeing her right now. It's very interesting that we're getting a character who is on the side of law enforcement, since we've not really had that yet, and where that's going to come to a head, where her moral compass is going to guide her, what her motivation's going to be. So, you know, not easy to introduce a new character in season 2 and make you, the audience, be like, where's this going? But so far I think they're doing a good job with that. I don't have much speculation so far, just that she now knows where F Society is based, which, you know, can only shake things up a little bit. But then we have, finally, we have Price and Angela and everything that's going on there. I have to say, much like season 1, and I was kind of concerned about how invested I was going to be in sort of Angela's story, and I mentioned this last season. I actually am finding myself legitimately quite invested in how this is going to play out, because I feel kind of a big old mix of emotions around what's going on with Angela. Like, I get where she's coming from in terms of she wants to feel valued and all of that side of it, and she feels like she is being valued here, but there's an element of, is she just kind of faking it because it feels like this is what she should be doing, and I feel bad for her because of that, and like she feels like this is what she has to be. But every so often, like, that kind of mask slips. She's kind of feels like I said in the reaction, like it's like she's dying on the inside, like the fact that she's doing all this and yet she's constantly trying to convince herself, no, you are good, you are valued, this is right. And it's, I don't know, it's gonna head somewhere not pretty. But we got an interesting thing here where we had our little dinner date where Price got uncomfortably close, personal bubble destroyed, by the way, about these two guys who have done a lot of like charity work. They've put in these good things for E Corp and they're family people, but they're involved with some insider trading, corruption deal going on. They were in the room with the whole thing that got Elliot and Angela's parents killed. Again, the show doing that thing where people aren't just monsters, but they can do monstrous things. And it's one of like the biggest assets of this show, how it really makes even the antagonists of the show feel very fleshed out, even if they're just very small roles in certain instances. But ultimately it led us to Price seemingly giving Angela a choice to see what she's going to do. Will you know, sell these guys out with all this evidence I've given you, or are you going to keep it a secret? And I can then tell what kind of person you are. Who am I dealing with? Like, it's definitely some form of test. I don't know what he would do with what her choice is, but yeah, it feels like he's testing her to get a real beat on who she is and is she part of his team or not, basically. But yeah, creepy. The whole scene made me just ick all over, and it was doubly worse because in the whole episode, Angela's first legitimate, like, actual natural smile happened in that scene, and then he did that shit and it just melted away, and I was like, oh, Angela, why are we here? Lots happening. We're only 2, technically 3 episodes in to the season, but we're already deep. We're already rolling in the deep, it seems like. But yeah, I am just super enjoying how this show is. Yes, it's about this situation that is unfolding with the hack that went off, but it's so far so much about these individuals and how they're dealing with it and how they're dealing with their own personal, like, inward feelings about themselves, about how they're dealing with the situations as it unfolds, all of that stuff. It's a very, very kind of character-led at the moment, which I think is really important when it comes to whatever the story's going to do with big reveals, how those characters are going to react to whatever's going to happen down the line. We'll have all of this sort of character stuff built up, so you'll be like, yep, I see why they did it. I see why they did this. But yeah, I think at this moment, I am suitably nervous for where all these characters are going to be going, what kind of trouble they're going to be getting into. The anxiety, once again, of this show infects me. But yeah, loving it. Another really good episode. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please remember to hit the thumbs up. Also consider subscribing and support the channel that way. There are links down below to all sorts of other things. Twitch, Discord, TikTok, all that fun stuff. Hit those up if you want. But for now, as I say, thank you for watching. I will catch you on the next.